Today we're going to review the Roller Coasters meeting agenda. Here are the supplies needed for today's lesson. Please review your meeting agenda to see if there are additional supplies you need to provide that are not in your kit. The first component is the Pledge of Allegiance and 4-H pledge.
The second component is the STEM and literacy activity. And for this meeting agenda, we have used an activity from More Picture Perfect Science Lessons. So please refer to this text for more details on it. However, we'll give you a helpful overview right now.
The first activity with our STEM and literacy section is a fiction book called Roller Coasters. This is a great way to get the children excited about today's lesson. Before you begin your reading, you'll notice that there's some information to go over with the kids. Ask them if they've been to an amusement park. Have they ever been on a roller coaster? You could even show them a short video or a photo of someone riding a roller coaster. Then make sure you allow time for discussion. Before you start reading the book, you'll want to take a picture walk through the book, just turning each page and talking about the illustrations on those pages. Make sure you note the facial expressions of the characters in the book and ask the children if they think that these will help us as we read the story. While you're reading the story, act out any of the facial expressions you see, or really make sure you're reviewing those with the children as you're reading. And then after you complete the story, go back and ask them what they think. Did those expressions really help tell the story in this book? And compare it to their feelings at an amusement park. You know, if you notice someone in the book that looks terrified, who would be that character? Who would be terrified? Me too. Or who would be really excited to be on the ride and ready to do it again as soon as they get off.
So after the book is done and you've kind of set up this whole situation, you're going to be announcing that the children can work probably in groups of 2 would be best. That way everybody gets a chance to really participate. But they're going to be basically designing and making their own roller coaster. And so first show the materials to them so that they know what they're going to be working with. And in this case, we've actually cut pool noodles the long way or lengthwise in half. And what you'll note is on the inside then is a little track for the marble or the roller coaster car to roll. So it's always helpful, I think, to model how to safely do that and to be very careful as to where the marbles go so that nobody trips on them or steps on them or they don't go somewhere you wouldn't want them to go. So basically model it, show them how to do it, and then give them a chance to kind of work or play with the materials and get to know it. And then you're going to be presenting some different challenges to them. And these challenges might be, can you make the marble roll from one end of the track to the other? Can you make it go faster, slower, through loops, through all these different kinds of things, just to see if they can really start to understand what works and what doesn't on this roller coaster track. And then, of course, if they come up with a good idea, we always just say, go for it. In one group, we had students or children actually want to tape all the pool noodles together to make one giant roller coaster. That's not in the meeting agenda, but always go for things like that whenever possible. They just wanted to see what happens. So if they have a question, try to answer it. Once you're done, gather the group back together and then just discuss their observations. Talking through each of the challenges and asking them to really provide evidence or talking about what they did as evidence for the question. Next, you're going to ask children to draw a picture of a roller coaster, and so the roller coaster will be done on this sheet of paper that's provided, and the children can draw anything that they think would work. And so the roller coasters might be slightly unusual, but as long as they think they can work, we say go for it. And then you're going to ask them some simple questions. What do you need at the beginning of the ride to get the roller coaster car moving fast? And can the second hill be higher than the first? And then you're going to actually ask them to mark some things such as, where on the track does your roller coaster car move the fastest? And you can mark that with a star. And then where on the track does your roller coaster car move the slowest? And you can mark that with a smiley face. This gives you a quick check as to whether or not they've gotten the content or not. And maybe you might need to go back and review something if you notice, the answers are really all very different. But that's up to you, because the next book that we're going to be reading might also help answer some of those questions, and Nicole is going to overview that now.
So you'll follow up with a book called I Fall Down. It's a nonfiction picture book, storybook that talks about some of the STEM concepts that the children just had the opportunity to explore on their own. So it will really help them grasp these concepts, learn about gravity and the effects of gravity. And then this is a really great book because it has so many interactive activity options throughout the book. A lot of them, so you probably don't have time to fit in every activity as you're reading, but as many of them as you can do during the story, that would be great to help the children understand these concepts. You'll just want to make sure that you have identified which activities out of this book you want to do ahead of time so you can have the materials available. And it doesn't need to be a lot. One activity is having 2 children take off their shoes and put them on rubber bands and hold them equal to see how they hang and what happens there. So there's some really simple activities you can do while you're reading.
Once you're done reading that book, and hopefully it will answer any questions that the children might have and overview gravity, we'd like to have you then kind of apply what they've learned to their everyday life. And so think about questions you might ask. In particular, there's question number 6 in the More Picture Perfect Science lessons book that might be appropriate at this point. But, where do you see gravity or forces in your life? Hold a discussion about that and really see if they can take that concept and apply it in a new situation.
The next component is the community building activity, and this is time to create a roller coaster. So if you want to, you can read the first book, Roller Coaster, again, and have children this time act it out as you read. You can also create your own indoor roller coaster by setting up some chairs and creating their own ride, and then even taking pictures of the kids using their facial expressions. How would you feel if you were just ready to drop on this hill while riding a roller coaster? And then the fourth component is the snack idea. And today's snack idea for you is creating a roller coaster car. You could use a small granola bar or a Rice Krispie treat as the car and then put on your wheels with toothpicks. You can use carrots or bananas, any kind of fruit or vegetable that you can cut into little round pieces for their wheels.
After that is the concluding activity. And that's basically just sharing reminders with the group, passing out the 4-H Home Connection sheet, just to help extend the learning and the fun. So that was an overview of roller coasters. We hope it was helpful and that you have a fabulous 4-H Clover Kids meeting.